Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Always a pleasure. Come very often, and each time is a even bigger pleasure. So thank you very much. Well, I am a physicist. I work with quantum science, atoms, molecules, and I try to apply my knowledge to life science, cancer treatment, and infections, and that kind of thing. But even being a hard scientist, as people define, I appreciate all the knowledge that we can collect from different communities. When I stepped in the plane 2 days ago to come here, I was convinced that I came here to learn. And today, after the sections, I am double convinced that I came to learn, very little to teach you. But because they say that nobody knows so little that has nothing to teach, or know high enough that cannot learn, here I go. I'm going to try to tell you some of my experience in try to teach my science or our science in general to people that are like Indians or minorities or all kinds of things. So I have many initiatives, outreach, and I'm going to go with this. Okay, I made some assumptions. And of course, my assumptions is that everybody has to share responsibilities and rights. So whatever we give, we have to get back. Whatever we share, we have both mutual benefits. And I believe that indigenous community do not need compassion. They need a lot of respect and understanding of their importance without violating their traditions. In my university in Brazil, we have a few Indian students, and we teaching them the way we teach everybody else, which may be a mistake. I'm convinced that teaching is not exactly science, even though I teach exactly science. Teaching is something that goes beyond exactly science, and we need to understand to whom we are teaching and the way. And I think that all what we need is from the Indians is as much as they need from us. And there is a misspelling there, sorry. And I think I made a diagram that I saw this diagram in the morning that scientific knowledge and natural indigenous knowledge, they overlap and they complement each other. Okay, so let me tell a little bit about our experience. First of all, I think that education is for not only to teach how to read and write, but it's go beyond that, is to try to teach how people can understand the nature and natural laws. Our mind, I appreciate that we learn a lot by experience, but our mind is filled with tricks. Magic is in your mind, illusions, and we scientists work hard to get to the universal truth. What are the laws? And if people know that, of course, they understand better what they're observing. And even if they learn by heart, by experience, they get it to understand better. So that's why I insist that if we teach science to people, including the Indians, the indigenous communities, they're going to understand even better what they know by heart. And this is my point here. My big experience of teaching indigenous community was done a few years ago when myself and Professor William Phillips, which is a member of this academy, is a Nobel Prize in physics, we traveled the Black River, Rio Negro in Amazonas, up with a lot of things to make demonstrations for the community. And we learned that the way we took all that baggage was not the good way. To teach them how light is produced, how light interacts with things, we elaborate a dance, a show, and they all understood, because that's the way they express themselves, and they understood. They were part of our teaching. And then I got motivated to go on and start to produce other outreach initiatives. And I think that if we teach the Indians and native people took us for tours in the jungle and everything, and they know how to treat that very well. And they know what's going on, even though they don't know the principles. So I think what I wrote there, and I can barely read, is that we should teach a little science to the Indians, because you see, All those communities, they suffer for everything that the rest of the society is suffering. Illness, all kinds of things. We spoke about COVID. You know, I have to tell that the worst is to come because all the bacteria and fungus are becoming resistant. And not even natural antibiotics or artificial antibiotics are going to solve the problem. Or kids is going to die of diarrhea. Or kids are going to die of throat infection. So the worst is coming. And we have to teach. We have to produce experts on their community to take care of themselves because we're going to need that. Okay, I'm going, I jumped one very important part. I learned in those initiatives that we make a big confusion, especially governments, because the way to interact, you know, there is two ways of share. There is interaction and interference. And I think you all know the difference, right? Interaction is exchange. Interaction is what moves the world. Interaction is what makes our metabolism to go, what makes chlorophyll to absorb light and produce everything we know. Interference is very dangerous. Interference is what we physicists know, that we put light together with light and we get darkness by interference. Not always we put light with light and we get brighter. So interference is a problem, and most of the things we see around is interference. We should really do interactions. And if we do that, I think we're going to be well succeed. I'm just going to share a few things we have done, going in many different places with, as you can see, a little circles that we stand and try to explain the communities how we do. And you see myself there in Novairão. If you are from Amazonas, you know Novairão. And we've been there twice. And I remember some of the community, a girl came and asked me, what is a Nobel Prize? And then we explained. And then she said, wow, I want to be a Nobel Prize. And always we teach science to young kids. Doesn't matter, Indians, no Indians. You change their life because they learn the truth. They learn a compromise with the truth. And this is very important. So those are initiatives. We have a moving museum, a moving planetary that when we show, everybody gets excited. We have this is the moving itinerant science museum that goes to different places. And this is the most interesting thing. We made a bus that we teach science using water. Everything in science using water. We even teach mathematics with water. And now we would like to prepare a boat, because when you speak about communities in Amazonas, boat is more appropriated. And we are waiting for the response of the government. But even though this bus is being visited by 400,000 young kids a year. And how much it costs? If you take by kid, it's nothing. It's cents of dollar, which is a good investment. And you see, each time we see a kid getting in there and learn, they change their mind. I see kids going to the bus and bring their father and mother. You have to learn that, father. This is very important. And that's how we change people, right? And recently we made a collection of kits, little box that explain principles. We have now 12 kits, teaching physics, teaching mathematics. You know, I learned that teaching mathematics with practice is something that stays forever. We have kits of biology, and now we have a kit of biomolecules. We have a kit of digestion, so people understand what we eat, what happens. And we have a kit of respiration. And this is going abroad in Brazil. We've been financed by the government. And now I want to introduce in the United States. Even in the United States, they need basis for science. Not only Indians, of course. Everybody needs to know science. You need to know science not to be scientists. You need to be science to be good citizens. And this is what we're doing. So those are the kits. And that's been a good success in Brazil and in many other countries that we've been taking. That's the whole collection. We even have one that the kid learned how to build a telescope. You see, if a kid observes the moon, you change his mind forever. He doesn't need to observe Jupiter, just the moon. he changed his mind. You know that. It's different than seeing a picture in the book. Okay, so those are the kids. And then we have some challenges. We decided to teach blind people, teach optics to blind people. That's a challenge. And we succeed. And we learn with them, maybe more than what they learn with us, right? And this was fantastic. And I want to go a little beyond, because all those trips to Amazonas and other places, we learned that, well, maybe science could help that people. One example is the essential oils that they extract from Amazonas and sell to the big companies. You know, they sell for a few dollars the bottle, and we're going to buy for a few hundred of, or a few thousand of dollars the bottle outside. And they are extracting sometimes in a very non-adequate way. They're doing the best they can. You see pictures there, but the innovation can help. We even developed a microwave extractor of oil to avoid them to use those solvents, you know, to extract the things, or even to use wood burning, because you don't need even to burn the wood to get extraction of many things to heat up and so on. And we hope that we will go on. Another thing we have done is the water. You know, I don't live in Amazonas, but all the kids are suffering. All the water is contaminated. E. coli is a big problem. It's already resistant. We made a small device with people from Roraima, which is very close to the Indians. And we developed devices that could clear up the water, 1,000 liters per day for them to drink. And we are now trying to understand how that can go to the community. And it's fully solar energy. There is no electrical energy in here, even in the previous one and this one is solar. But I see that in many communities in Amazonas, they're already using solar energy. You know, we don't need to make people to live in the dark. The night cannot stop at 6 o'clock for them. They like to read. They like to do all kinds of things. Well, this is my experience to share with you. And I know that I would like to say that the three ladies, Dr. Mirna, Dr. Octaviana, and Dr. Lorna made my day. You know, I got some emotion when you gave your speech, and this is a practical proof that all the hard science is not enough. We have emotions. We have things that drive us, and all the talks has helped me to understand that. But you three, very special. Thank you very much.